in the professional field. We are so thrilled to be welcoming back to the PrattMWP campus alumnus PrattMWP. Lee is an Asian American filmmaker and artist born in Hawaii and raised by an Irish American family in the suburbs of upstate New York. Lee was here at Pratt from 2007 to 2009 and was an exceptional student in an exceptional class. And after leaving us, she was accepted into and transferred to the Cooper Union to earn her Bachelor of Fine Arts degree in 2012. Since then, her films and music videos have won awards at film festivals domestically as well as internationally. The 2020 video Crazy with Jay Key, which Lee directed, won the Best Hip Hop Video of the Year at the LA Music Awards. In addition to her film work, Lee creates illustrated storyboards for TV commercials and works with such clients as Saks Fifth Avenue, Airbnb, PwC, NAACP, Amazon, and Netflix, and is currently represented by Famous Frames. I was lucky enough to have Lee as a student in both my LCD class and my sophomore drawing class. And I even still have Lee's first homework assignment she did in LCD and a couple of her sophomore drawings. They are, like all of her work, remarkable. I have a favorite memory of Lee, and it is one that speaks why she was so enjoyable to have as a student. I saw her when she had just returned to campus for her sophomore year, and so I asked her how her summer had been and what she had done. She said she had a great summer and worked and painted. I thought she was just telling me that she painted to make me happy and impress me as her teacher. So then I asked her, well, did you have time to do anything fun? And she gave me the most incredulous look and said, I told you, I painted. So that was it. Working in the studio, making work was always a joy for Lee when she was on campus. And I, and know that when she left here to go to the Cooper Union, she continued that on. So, and you can tell by her success that her work habits continue to be impressive. So please join me and welcome to the podium, Lee Milby.
First of all, I want to say thank you to Diana. In hearing what your class has gone through, I kind of feel like I can learn more from you than I can impart. But PrattMWP graduating class of 2020. How are you feeling today? Nervous? Excited? Proud? I remember feeling all of those things when I stood in this room over a decade ago as part of the class of 2009. And going back a little bit further to when I first stepped foot on this campus as a Munson student in 2007, I'll never forget the thrill of being surrounded for the first time by fellow artists, of having an instant connection with my peers through a shared love of art, of having a course schedule that was full of art classes and creative, caring teachers who would guide me toward the artistic future I had always dreamed about. The world has changed a lot since I moved into the freshman dorms at Hart Street 15 years ago. But I wonder if some things have stayed the same. I remember carrying giant newsprint pads and boxes of charcoal across campus through piles of heavy winter snow, installing sculptures at Cottage and wondering if the distant creaks and cracks coming from the other room were the echoes of ghost judging our work. Frantically adding the finishing touches to our projects the night before critique and witnessing how the work transformed once it was removed from the easel and placed on the wall, where it became art with a capital A. Whether it was finished or not. Some of you will be moving to Pratt Brooklyn next year. Some will be transferring to other colleges, doing a gap year, or working full-time. Whatever you do from here on out, know that once you're an artist, you are always an artist. It is a great honor for me to speak here today at the school that provided me with the foundation for my entire artistic journey. Who I was then, where I thought I was going, and what I thought was possible have changed. So much. Here's a few lessons I'd like to share. As artists, we are lifelong students. Learning never stops. Take classes and opportunities to experiment with mediums and materials that are outside of your comfort zone. You never know what skills may come in handy someday. When I was going to school, I had a strong vision of what my future would look like. I was going to be oil painter. I'd been painting since I was a little kid, and becoming an oil painter was the future I'd always envisioned for myself. But in my senior year of college at Cooper, I developed a sensitivity to oil painting materials. My entire idea of what my future would look like had to shift. For example, I never saw myself as a sculptor, but the skills I learned in sculpture class here at Munson allowed me to build custom props and set designs for film productions. I had dabbled in video before, but never really took it seriously since I was so laser focused on oil painting. Yet my filmmaking is what defines my career today. That's something I never would have imagined back in 2009. Take a chance on yourself when others won't. Before I started directing, many people told me I couldn't do it. I didn't look like a Tarantino, a Spielberg, or a Michael Bay, so people had trouble seeing me as a director at all. And as strange as it may sound, I had never seen or heard of an Asian woman film director making it big in Hollywood before, so it made it really hard for me to imagine myself in that role, even on a much smaller scale. It wasn't a place where I thought I belonged. When I mentioned to other filmmakers that I was interested in directing, they shook their heads. You, a director? No. Instead of support, I was told, don't bother. You don't have what it takes. Eventually, I realized that I couldn't wait for anyone else's approval, acceptance, or support in order to do what I wanted to do. I had to become my own mentor. I had to pave my own path, and even if I failed miserably, well, at least I tried. Turns out, I can direct, because at our core, directors are artists, and everything comes together as long as you have a vision. So if you have something you want to do in life, don't wait for permission. And on another note, don't wait till you feel ready either. Nobody cares if you feel ready, they care if you show up. After directing for a while, I got into doing storyboard art. It's a niche role, but a very important one that blends film and drawing and painting to portray how a TV show or a TV commercial will look before they go out and shoot it. Even though I had created storyboards for a few big-name clients like the NAACP, Ben & Jerry's Ice Cream, and Amazon, I hesitated to take my work to the next level, which would mean seeking formal representation with an artist agency. I just didn't feel like my portfolio was good enough. I felt like I needed more time to refine and perfect it before it was ready to show anybody. I felt like I was applying to art school all over again. So one day, a colleague just told me, why don't you call one of these places up and see what they say? So on a whim, I decided to call one of the biggest storyboard agencies in the United States, fully expecting rejection. The woman on the line was skeptical at first. She said, listen, we don't accept many portfolios. We're very exclusive, which didn't help my confidence at all, but she said, okay, go ahead, send me your portfolio, we'll take a look. To my surprise, an hour later, they called back with an offer for representation. Nobody cares if you feel ready, they care if you show up. Putting yourself out there can feel intimidating, especially if you're a perfectionist like me, but perfect is in the eye of the beholder. Sometimes I find myself obsessing over the details and worrying that the tiniest brushstroke or a misplaced pixel could cause an entire project to collapse. But here's the good news. Nobody cares. At least they don't care about those little things the way that you do. Even after years of working as an artist and illustrator, when I deliver my final drawings to a client for review, I sometimes stress about what I could have done better. Do the characters look consistent? Does the anatomy look good? Is the perspective okay? Did I understand the assignment? But more often than not, the client comes back saying, they all look great. Perfect. If you've put in the work, have some faith in yourself. Trust your abilities as an artist. People may love or hate your art, and it can be hard not to take that personally. But know that the judgment given to your art does not affect your intrinsic value as a person. Your work is not you. As artists, we manifest our work from wherever creativity and inspiration lives in the universe, and we make it real. But once that piece of art exists, it takes on a life of its own, separate from yourself. So separate it from yourself. There's a TED Talk I think often about. It's called Your Elusive Creative Genius, and in it, writer Elizabeth Gilbert describes the difference between how the word genius is used today versus how it was originally intended. According to her, the ancient Romans believed that you couldn't be a genius. Instead, you possessed a genius. And a genius was like this little creature that would live in your studio and provide you with creativity and influence your ideas. So then the pressure was off. You could blame a genius for your failures and share the spotlight of your success alongside your genius too. It wasn't all about you. That little bit of detachment from the work can help you maintain a healthy objectivity to keep your momentum moving forward in the face of adversity. And finally, don't forget the friends you made along the way. After graduation, people may go their separate ways, but try your best to keep in touch with friends who can remind you of who you are as an artist, who know where you came from, what you went through together, and understand where you want to go. Maintain your network and share the wealth of future opportunities together. Raise each other up. As the class of 2022, you know very well how the unexpected can shift life around in big ways. As you leave this campus for perhaps the final time, stepping foot onto your future path, remember that once you're an artist, you're always an artist. You are innovative problem solvers. You possess follow-through and grit, the ability to learn from your mistakes and persevere. You adapt. You know what it's like to create something new with your bare hands, bringing ideas and concepts into tangible, touchable form from virtually nothing. Planning, gathering materials, sourcing inspiration, doing studies, learning from past mistakes, changing course and pivoting when something doesn't work out. You discover new solutions, and you manifest your vision. Being here today means that you possess all of these superpowers and more, which will prepare you for anything, no matter what the future holds. Congratulations.
Academic Achievement Award. Academic Achievement Awards are presented by the faculty staff to individual students who excel in